The All Progressives Congress today held what the party calls a crucial caucus meeting in Abuja. The president told party men that he is sure of the support of Nigerians across states and warned those who referred as political thugs not to attempt to divert ballot boxes, as anyone found wanting will be dealt with ruthlessly by the police and the army. President Buhari says the army and the police have been accordingly instructed. He also says the government will investigate the rescheduling of last Saturday's election. On his part, the APC national chairman, Adams Oshomole, accused INEC of colluding with the main opposition People's Democratic Party in some states. Our correspondent, Terry Ikumi, reports.
Proceeding with the election as scheduled is no longer feasible.
48 hours after the postponement of the 2019 presidential and National Assembly elections by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), the ruling All Progressives Congress has called an emergency caucus meeting for what appears to be a re-strategizing ahead of the new date just 5 days away. The meeting is well attended, but noticeably absent are the governors of Imo and Ogun states.
Your Excellency.
First to speak is the national chairman of the party. He calls for a minute's silence in honor of the party supporters who lost their lives during the course of the campaigns, and goes on to make strong accusations against the electoral umpire and the main opposition People's Democratic Party.
How can our brothers and sisters in Akwa Ibom State have confidence when the process, the recruitment, the training, the deployment of the hard staff is done between the INEC REC and the government of Akwa Ibom State? I can put my hand on the Holy Quran that INEC leadership knew that they were going to postpone the election. They shared this information with the People's Democratic Party. I have no difficulties with secondus to have a new INEC chairman.
Following INEC's position that despite the postponement of the election, campaigns cannot continue, the APC national chairman, like the main opposition People's Democratic Party, insists on resumption of campaigns.
The law says you are entitled to renew campaign up to 24 hours before the date of election. So without consulting INEC, we are proceeding and we are ready to meet them in court because they cannot, by administrative fiat, amend or distort extra provisions in the relevant Electoral Act.
It's the turn of President Muhammadu Buhari to speak. He described the postponement of the election as incompetent.
The reasons why such incompetence manifests itself has to be explained to the nation. After the election, we have to know exactly what happened and who is responsible.
Nigerian elections in the past have been marred with thuggery and ballot box snatching. The president has a strong stance on this.
I am going to warn anybody who thinks he has enough influence in his locality to lead a body of thugs to snatch boxes or to disturb the voting system. He will do it at the expense of his own life.
While everyone awaits what actions INEC will take against any political party which resumes campaigns, the president's instructions to security agencies against political thugs and ballot box snatchers will perhaps be the center of conversations in the coming days ahead of the elections. Terry Ikumi, Channels Television News.
The allegation of the APC national chairman is being echoed by the former minority leader of the Senate, Mr. Godswill Akpabio. Also speaking at the APC caucus meeting, Senator Akpabio alleges that the INEC staff in Akwa Ibom State have been compromised.
INEC is an independent body, but some of their officials are not totally independent. In some states of the Federation, we have noticed unholy alliances with the governments in power. For instance, in a place like Akwa Ibom, where I come from, the body language of INEC in Akwa Ibom State clearly shows that they will not be able to conduct free and fair elections, and then they will not be able to give all the political parties, particularly the APC, level playing field. And then you can at least get this. This can be, it's very easy for you to see this from the body language and from the nature of people that are procured to run the affairs, the ad hoc staff and the other support staff of INEC for the elections, and the pronouncements, the gesticulations, the body language, even the kind of things that are being told to trainees by the INEC staff. So quite worrisome that, yes, indeed, what the national chairman observed.
Still related to the allegation of collusion, some protesters believed to be supporters of the All Progressives Congress besieged the INEC office in Akwa Ibom State this afternoon, asking the resident electoral commissioner, Mike Igini, to resign. The protesters, who prevented him from leaving his office, claim he's working for the ruling PDP in the state. But Mr. Igini dismisses the allegations, saying he will not allow himself to be dragged into any such controversy, as he is determined to focus on his duties as the resident electoral commissioner in the state. The main opposition, the People's Democratic Party, appears incensed by the statements attributed to leaders of the ruling party after their caucus meeting today. The national chairman of the PDP, Uche Secondus, criticized President Muhammadu Buhari and the APC national chairman, Adams Oshiomhole, for incisive comments. The PDP also suggested to INEC to allow two audit firms, KPMG and PricewaterhouseCoopers, to verify all the sensitive materials that were returned to all central bank offices across the nation following the rescheduled election last Saturday. While expressing support for what he calls the Commission's perceived resistance to pressure to implement a partial postponement, the PDP insists it will hold an emergency meeting on Tuesday to address some of these concerns. According to the chairman, yes, the NEC will meet on Tuesday at the National Secretariat of the party. We will meet at noon, end of quote. The PDP also wants INEC to address fears by the party that a certain Activate Technology Limited will be involved in the collection and reconfiguration of card readers when taken to state level. Nigeria's main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, says it will be holding its emergency meeting of the National Executive Council tomorrow to re-strategize ahead of the rescheduled presidential elections on Saturday, as earlier mentioned. The meeting is expected to host leaders of the party, including the presidential candidate, Mr. Atiku Abubakar. The emergency meeting is coming a day after the ruling All Progressives Congress also had a caucus meeting with President Buhari in attendance. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, describes the comment of the President over ballot box snatchers as a call for extrajudicial killing. Mr. Dogara also condemned the comments of the APC National Chairman, Mr. Adams Oshiomhole, who alleged that the PDP colluded with the Independent National Electoral Commission to postpone the elections, describing it as mischievous and inflammatory. While INEC is continuing with the retrieval of sensitive voting materials across states, several reactions have pointed to the safety of the materials amidst the vulnerability of its exposure before the botched election.
There were excess polling unit result sheets, that is EC8A. The result sheets were more than twice the number of the polling units in Ekiti State.
This is an allegation INEC is refuting as political parties, heads of security agencies and journalists head for the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to recheck all returned voting materials.
I don't think there's nothing like that, because most of these results were customized. Let me give you an example. We have about 2,195 polling units in Ekiti State. And when we were distributing the result sheets, exactly 2,195 result sheets were found.
And I can confirm to you that my presence here today with these security chiefs is to do the physical inspection, and I give you that assurance, like I'm telling you, that all the materials are intact. There is no distortion. There is no other thing than that. All the materials are intact, and we are good to go.
Representatives of other political parties have this to say.
We were calling yesterday to witness the recall of the materials, because on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, who are here, we witnessed the sorting and we took records of all the materials.
And they made the announcement outside here that all the necessary materials have been delivered. So that is all I know for now. I didn't lay my eyes on any of the materials, so I can't speak to it.
In Yola, the Adamawa state capital, INEC says it has retrieved all sensitive voting materials it had earlier deployed for the postponed elections and deposited them at the central bank. INEC's resident electoral commissioner in the state, Kasim Gaidam, tells journalists that the commission is reconfiguring the smart card readers with a new date for the presidential and national assembly elections.
Today, we have reconfigured them to reach 23rd February 2019, and we have done that for all the local government areas except Madagali local government alone, and we are going to do that today by God's grace. And so we want to assure you that we are trying to keep at pace with all developments, and we are not going to be kept left behind by God's grace.
As the electorate awaits Saturday's elections, all eyes will be on the electoral umpire to see if it will maintain its neutrality in the conduct of the elections. INEC also clears the air on the allegation of receiving excess result sheets and other issues raised by the People's Democratic Party.
An international election observer group known as Pan-African Women Project in South Africa has appealed to the federal government to extend the visas of all foreign observers to enable them stay until March 9, 2019. The publicity secretary of the organization, Ms. Mfwentle Kitsing, made this request in Akwa Ibom State following the rescheduling of the 2019 general elections. The body also calls on Nigerians to be patient and support INEC to conduct credible polls.
The Nigerian government should instruct the Controller General of the Immigration to extend the visas for all foreign observers, enabling them to stay until the 9th of March 2019 general elections. We have taken time to consult widely with various political stakeholders with regards to the sudden and recent postponement of the general election in Nigeria by INEC. While this is regrettable, we still have faith in the ability of INEC to effectively deliver the general election on the rescheduled date. We therefore call on the INEC to work assiduously to make the new rescheduled date sacrosanct without further postponement. This will still rekindle the hopes and confidence of the electors on the integrity of the INEC to deliver the general elections effectively and efficiently. We also call on INEC to continuously update both the general public and electorates appropriately on its activities towards the election and on time. We also call on the electorate and general public to remain calm and support the INEC and the electoral process.